That time I got caught shoplifted. So basically, I used to shoplift. It's no hiding truth. I used to do it as a kid with other kids, obviously. At that time, we used to shoplift, near the local store and all that. It was easy, but we never got caught. And at some point, I was like, nah, this is not good. And we should not really do this. And I didn't just left it, okay? And that was it at first. Now, at the time that I used to do this, I was a big time introvert. And as I've already told you all, that I turned to an extrovert somewhere in the year 2025. And that's when my shopliftings started again. Okay, being an extrovert did not mean that you have to shoplift or anything, obviously. But I'll explain you what went into my mind that led me to do this, and what went into my mind to then not let me to do this, like to then stop to do this. But before that, obviously, I'm going to tell you the story. Yeah, so there's this one time that I shoplifted. Okay, this is I used to shoplift in mainly two stores. Okay, one of the stores that I used to shoplift in was in an army area, and the other one wasn't. But the other one was known to, like, sell expensive stuff for no reason, even if it's not expensive outside. So it was more of satisfactory to be shoplifting in that, but I did not really care about it. But whatever. So I used to do it in these two shops mainly, okay? So the civilian shop, which is like the fraud one that I just explained to you. I was shoplifting in this one at one time, okay? And catch me up on this one. This is a fun one, all right? So this time that I did in it, I took a coffee can, asked the, employee there that how much would it be, and he says to me 50, all right? And I keep the 50 coffee can in my like pocket or something, and I somehow manages to get out of there. But the twist is, just, besides that shop, there is this premium section of that very shop, I guess, where you just like go there and it's like fully expensive section. All right, I went in there, sat there, drank my shoplifted coffee, ordered nothing. The waiter asked me if I want something. I ordered nothing, watched the TV and drank the coffee and got out of there. And I was like, after I got out of out of there, I was like, what the fuck did I just did? It's like, bro, I shoplifted their coffee and drank it in their premium section and then got out of it. Like, bro, like, what the heck? So yeah, it was funny. Like I told my sister this and she was laughing and all that, laughing a lot and all that. So yeah, that was the thing about it. But that wasn't the time that I actually got caught, right? Obviously, the time that I got caught was in the other shop, in the army one. Okay, so this one day I was with a friend, and I went into like shoplift alone in there, and then some worker who was like cleaning the floor or something, she caught an eye onto me, and I was caught right there, all right? But somehow I got out of it, okay? Some lame ass excuse I made up, and then I got out of it. Like, because my friend was also near there, so he came up and, he paid it and all that. So it did not became much big of a deal right there. And the funny part is, at that time, I was shoplifting a bigger thing, okay? It was like 100. This dude comes, my friend comes, and he pays up and all that. I was okay at that time. It happened. And then, I was also bunking classes at the time a lot, and I was, getting grounded because of, like, I was getting caught because of it, and, all this stuff, like telling the parents and all that. So I started to reflect on this. Let me just first clarify you why I shoplifted, right? I used to shoplift. This isn't the big incident where I got caught, okay? It's later on. But let me clarify first why I used to shoplift, all right? So I used to shoplift because not just shoplift, I used to like trespass and then shoplift, and kind of more of laws that I broke, but all of them that I did were from the heart. I never like had bad intentions of doing it. You get my point? And like bunking classes and all that shit. So the reason for it all was, first of all, as I've told you a million times already, that I was firstly mainly an introverted type of guy. But then my philosophies changed, right? As I got into many other stuff and the philosophies, it changed. But the moment that I started doing all this was when I watched GTO. It had an influence on me like none other thing had, right? I read GTO, not watched. But yeah, that's the thing. That was the moment when it happened. The reason that I used to do it was simple. It wasn't to have any bad intentions or anything like that. It was just to have fun. And no, I'm not saying that breaking laws is the only way that I had it for. But you gotta see it as this, alright? I just figured this thing out that I used to study really well hard before. But then I realized that, it's not the studies that I'm going to remember. I'm a kid right now. I'm not a grown up. I'm not gonna be those ass of a kids that who like act like grown-ups who are like 16 and earning millions, and saying that till 20 I'm gonna marry, have a good family and all that shit. No, bro. I'm like, it's your teenagehood, it's your childhood, it's your youth years. People say that youth years you gotta use them and all that. I'm like, bro, it's your youth years, and I think you should live it as much as you can. Because you are getting these high school years back, right? Yeah, you can have fun later on as well, and you do obviously have fun later on as well, but you aren't gonna make as good friends as in high school later on, because it's just in work, and people like grown-ups become adults, become bitter, more bitter than right now you would find. It's just that kind of thing. That the thing is that I figured out that bunking classes right now might hurt me in studies one or two times, but it really makes me remember this shit, right? It really makes me remember when I think about it. It's really a fun moment, right? It stays in my memories. That's what I mean about it. Studying never did that. And I realized this. Not that the bunking classes as a thing was fun because it was breaking rules or anything. That was just the part of it. But just, going out there, it was fun. That's what I mean. But somewhere in between, it transitioned from love, for the love of, doing it, for the love of, like, just getting out a little bit sometimes. Instead of that, it transitioned to fear, just because I don't like a class, just because I want to skip a class and I don't like it, just because the intention started to become more of a fear-based intentions, because I don't want to do the class. I wasn't interested in it because I was afraid that this teacher is more strict or something like that. And that was the problem where it lied, right? That's the problem where it had it. And this same thing was in shoplifting as well. Shoplifting did not give you adrenaline or anything like that. It wasn't similar to at all to bunking classes or trespassing in matter. It was not hurting anybody directly. Seeing the system, the corrupt system there is, which basically is made to control people. Money is man-made. And it's made to divide people in rich and poor and all those sections, made by the people in power, obviously, who wanted to take power, obviously. Because if you really think about it, there is not any there is no one naturally poor or naturally rich, right? If you just take nature as it is, there's not a concept of poor or rich. It's human made, is what I mean. And it's dividing people into middle class and rich and poor and all that. And, the people who made it are already not so good. They are kind of evil, anyways. This system is corrupt, anyways. That's the thing. If you want to blame something, blame the fucking system. I'm shoplifting here is just for the fun of it, is what I said at the time. But the truth about this matter is that even if money is not real and it's not actually hurting somebody, even if that's the case, this is the system we still live onto this date, right? This is the system we live on in this date. And because of that thing, because this is the system we live on, it still is indirectly hurting people, right? Because let's accept it that this system is a part of it right now, is the part of how we live right now. And through that, it's going to hurt people. And that's what I did not understood at the time, that I did understand afterwards, is that one shoplift might not hurt anybody, one chocolate might not hurt anybody. But if you think about it, this very shoplifting could be of phones, could be of more major stuff. And I get it. Even those one or two mistakes, it's all right. Emergency, it's all right. Yeah, even that I get it. Not about the phone, but if there is a bike or something, some stuff in some contexts are applicably okay. I get it. It happens, even if you take it as mistakes. It happens. You're not saying everything for everything, right? But I still got it that what I was doing, everyday shoplifting, and all that, it wasn't as good. And it started to become into fear as well, because I remember a time when there was a friend of mine who was like, "Oh no, you don't shoplift, right? And you cannot." And then I was like, "Oh, you think so? Well, I'll show you." And then I went in there and shoplifted, which was not good at all. It was fear based, right? I did it because I wanted to show him something, to prove something, which wasn't the essence at all. I'm talking about the essence of shoplifting. What? No, it wasn't the essence of youth at all. That is what I mean. Of my philosophy at all. It wasn't, right? And so I figured that shoplifting isn't the same as the other stuff. Yeah, sure, if I go ahead and eat some in a restaurant or something and do not pay and run in front of them, that would be fun. That would be actual shoplifting with the spirit. But silently shoplifting out of a store and then going out and then eating, there's not much big of fun in there. That it's not much big of a thing. It's not a thing with the essence. It's kind of pathetic, right? I've seen many students do it lately, like more. But the freeing, running through in front of them, that's sake spirit. Okay, obviously I'm just saying it as a joke. Don't actually do it. That anime kind of stuff where they just run through it without paying, and the shopkeeper is behind them and all that. But yeah, that's kind of thing. So I figured this out, that yeah, I won't shoplift until and unless it's an extreme situation. Like I come on a date and I had in chocolate, I bought a chocolate, but it got into the gutter and now I have to shoplift. I cannot do anything. It's extreme situation, right? And I did not do it on fear based. It was still love based. I wanted to give the chocolate on the date. That's it. That's the thing. And I thought that okay, all right, I would only do it if it's that much kind of an extreme situation. Not I won't shoplift otherwise at all. At least on Mondays. Okay, just kidding. Just a joke. So I won't shoplift for other than that at all. That is what I thought. All right. This was my thought process at the time. But where the twist happens. So, this one day, the annual functions of my school is happening. The annual function is very near to the same store that I got caught in once. And I was going in that store one or two times a lot, in between and all that. And even before that thing happened, I did shoplift it one more time. And even during this annual function, I did it many times actually. Because there was one my friend who was like saying, "Oh, do it, it's all right." And I was like just doing it. I was thinking that it's okay, it's okay. And I wasn't proud of this. Okay, this time I saw it as a mistake. Okay, I did not saw it as in like fully okay. I saw it as a small mistake, and that's all. But I still shoplifted, right? And then it happened. I was normally, getting through the chores, buying something normal. I was buying a cake with a friend one night, and out of nowhere, the shopkeeper calls me up like, "Hey, you, is that you in the camera right there?" And I saw the clip, and yeah, it was me who shoplifted. Now, I could have just saved myself by saying that, oh, it was an item from the other shop and stuff like that, or like my friend with me at the time, I thought he paid the money for it or stuff like that. But I did not do that because, first of all, I did not got this idea instantly, but mainly also because it wasn't just one clip. It wasn't one clip, I know, but there has been many instances that I shoplifted and they saw it, or one of them saw it, I guess, one time or two time, but that's the thing. In that clip, I was like taking a biscuit of 40, okay? And ultimately, what happened is that he called my mom up because he cannot find my dad number at first, and then he asked for my dad's number from her, and then after all that happened, he called my dad up as well. He actually he did find my dad's number in my WhatsApp, and then he was like to my friend, "Oh, is he his dad?" And my friend is like, yeah. Like, bro, can you just not shut the fuck? And then he called up, okay, ring, ring, and then my dad picked up, and he was like, so yeah, your son be shoplifting, and aren't you from the army? Weren't you in the army before, huh? And stuff like that, okay? And he called my dad, he complained about it, and I had to pay up the fine of 200. Well, I shoplifted way more than just 200, so it's alright, I think. The biscuit of 40 was definitely worth of eating. Like, I had the fun of eating it when I was eating it with my friend. It was fun, I remember that. Cool, right? So, yeah. Okay, so basically, just as I was caught and all this happened, when I got out, I instantly started making jokes with the other friend of mine, telling him all this, and these were jokes and all that. And one of the shopkeepers from there started saying his story of his childhood, that when I was a kid, I used to steal from the neighbor's farm. But the neighbor guy, told my father about this. Like what else do you expect? It's your neighbor you're stealing from. What are you, stupid or something, bro? So yeah, he started telling about that, and then there was this other guy. There were like three guys in the shopkeeping. Okay, so there was this other guy who started saying to me personally, "Now you don't come to this shop again. All right, you would surely become a criminal when you grow up." And all that. All right. So basically, if you see about this, that day I gave two people, something to talk about, to reminisce about nostalgically, and I gave the third person a point to be satisfied with his job in his life. So that's the positive points, I guess. Okay, just kidding. But that guy did tell my father to come. I thought he was not coming. All right, from the park we were coming back, me and my friend, and out of nowhere the car of my father comes. All right, he stops by and he's like, "Come in," and then we both like go and sit in there. And then we are like getting out of there from it. He stops by my friend's house and he's like, "Go home." And then my friend goes out, and I was all alone in the car at the time, and I thought, okay, I'm done for, man. I am done for, man. All right. And yeah, he drove the car, and he was like driving it, and then after like he drove it and all that, he like told me his story that when he was a kid, he used to steal from the farm, and then he used to go ahead and like buy some snacks from whatever the money he got. Okay, but he said that he used to steal from his own farm, so I should steal from my own house instead of stealing from any other place. Like, bro, the sister who uh like paid the fine for me at that time, when I had to like pay the fine, I clicked the photo and sent to sister, the QR code and all that. So the sister told me that if you are shoplifting, why are you getting caught and all that? Like, chill as fuck, bro. What? And then the other sister was like, "You are going to jail, definitely." Like, she was the one who was like angry at me. Obviously, my father and my mother was as well after that. And yeah, it was a thing about it. My mother was fully silent, which was totally strange. And that was like actually the thing about it. Like, at first she was silent, and obviously, yeah, that was how it went. It was a totally crazy night, gave me adrenaline and all that. But one thing hit at that night to me. All right, one realization hit. First of all, now that I've came to this, I don't really shoplift anymore much at all. Like, yeah, sometimes, maybe, yeah, I do. Maybe sometimes only, but I don't see it as a good thing at all. If it's extremes, I may have done it. Like, I do sometimes. Like, after all this happened, after a lot of days, I did shoplift in a mall. Okay, this time it was a mall, and I did not get caught. And I see that as a mistake as well. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, I did. I don't usually do it at all now. And yeah, that's basically it. I went to that shop again recently. Okay, it's been a while, and I bought some stuff with money, and I was like, hey shopkeeper, I'm giving it money this time, all right? Okay, so there were like more people right there, so he probably did not listen, but I kind of shouted it, so he could have listened that, like there were three guys in the shopkeeping. Someone might have listened, like obviously, yeah. It was a different bit of avatar I went in there, so I don't know if it really recognized me or not. But yeah, I did say it, and that was fun as well. So yeah, that's the thing. Me being a troublemaker right there, boys. But however, that was pretty much the story of how I got shoplifting. But there was one thing that hit me at that night that made me really really happy actually. That was the friend I was like buying cake with, and I got out from the shop with. He was like, "You shouldn't really do this and all that." He was like scolding me about it a little bit, like passive scolding me about it. It was okay, but then we called another friend, and that friend of mine, bro, despite me being in the wrong, he was still supporting me. Like, yeah, he was saying that, yeah, you shouldn't have done it and all that, but it's happened now, right? It's happened. There's no point of, crying about it. And he was saying, yeah, you shouldn't have done it and all that, but he was like, yeah, it's happened now as well. So yeah, you cannot really do anything about it right now. So yeah, that was the thing about it. And he was like still with me on there, and still, going with me. He wasn't scolding me passively or anything. He was just asking about what happened, how's the things and all that. And he was generally being a good one out there. And it hit to me at that point because there was also this other girl that I was friends with at the time. I was having some argument and all that at the time, and I was having some philosophical argument and all that, but not exactly philosophical argument. I would cover it up in some other video about that girl and her friend group as well. Yeah, that video would come out. It would be fun as well, but whatever. So it hit to me at that time that it does not really matter, because this very dude that I'm talking about, who we called, this very dude actually argued me on philosophy with the existence of God or not. But even after that, it just hit to me that he's still such a good friend of mine. It does not really need philosophical understanding to have a good friendship, to have a friendship at all. It just needs emotional understanding and emotional support, and basically, yeah, emotional understanding. And yeah, that is what actually hit to me at that night, and I was so happy after that. Like, yeah, bro, that's the thing. And yeah, I already knew that kind of, but sometimes it just hit to you, and it's just kind of revise you in a way that you already knew and stuff like that. But still, it's kind of revise you and in a way like that. So yeah, that was the thing. That was a moment which was kind of awesome. Not gonna lie. So yeah, that's the thing. That was my story of how I got caught shoplifting. So yeah, see you in the next one. See you.